Well, this Highland Park cabbing machine has been sitting in my basement for a few years now, and I needed some wheels, so I ordered 6 of them. Let's take them out of the box and see what we have. So we have the 80 grit and the 220 grit, which are both hard discs, diamond coated. Then we have the 280, 600, 1200, and the 3000. Now these are softer wheels. It's got that coating on it. You can see some sponge in there. And what I have to do first, well, after I install these and figure out how to install these, the next thing I have to do is break these in before I can do anything with the rocks. And how do I do that? You do it with a rock. I've never used a cab machine before, so this is going to be a lot of fun putting it together and learning how to use it. But I'm really excited because now I can start making some really cool stuff. And since I live in good old Canada, these things cost a hell of a lot of money. Alright, so time to tear this old puppy apart and see what we're getting into. If I sound a little groggy today, it's because I am. I played a country award show last night. It was a 2-night gig, and I was lucky enough to receive an award myself. So I'm pretty honored to do that. It was for my contribution to the Northern Ontario Country Music Association since about 1991. So thank you very much, and we'll continue on. And now back to the show. All right, the covers are off. This is what I'm dealing with here so far, besides really crappy light. Speaking of crappy light, let's fix that right now. That's much better. So I think I have to start from this end, pull the pillow block off, and bolt all this. The wheel, then the spacers, then this wheel. Look at the curve of that wheel. These things are ancient. I don't even know what they are. Can't tell probably until I get it off. And then the belt's off. And then this one here, I will probably pull off from this side. But I took the pillow block off there just because I have to raise things to get things off. So, and then I'm debating whether I should paint all this or not. That's another big job. But I think for now, I just want to get it running and see how it works and see if I can even make something. This is really stuck, and I have to try to figure out how to get that off. So I brought it out in the garage, put it in the vise, reefing on it. Couldn't get it off, so I figured I'll go back the other way and try to crack the seal, and discovered it's a reverse thread. You know, the righty-tighty, lefty-loosey? Nope, this is backwards. So that's a good thing. She's loose, so let's pull her off. Whoops, I did it again. Now I got to figure out which wheels I'm putting where. I'd like to put both the hard ones on this one. Got to figure out how to do that. If that's a spacer, I know that's a spacer. I don't know if this piece is a spacer or not. So I'm doing this by the seat of my pants. I've been trying to look for stuff online, but haven't really found a whole lot. I've decided that that's not going to work. So it's just going to be the 80 grit, which is this one. And that goes on there. That goes like that. Okay, so that's that one. This is the next one. It's got to go on from here, and I got to figure out all the spacing and all that fun stuff. So this should be fun. Okay, I need to figure out the spacer thing. This one's too far away. I had a hell of a time putting that on. This one was a bit easier, but I'm gonna have to pull these off and get some thinner spacers. All I have is this brass one left, and then the end of the pillow block. I'll have to get me some PVC spacers, or if I have some brass pipe laying around, I'll have a look. So I went through my drawers and pulled out a pipe. This one here. It's going to go into my bandsaw. Well, I already went into my bandsaw and I cut the end off. And it seems to fit on the shaft just perfectly. Nice chrome plastic. And I'm going to cut it into the proper sizes and I'll have some spacers. Yay! Ta-da! 5 new plastic spacers. Just got to sand them off, ream them out, and we are good to go. Alright, so we got the 80, the 220, the 280, the 600, the 1200 on there. I have one more to put on, but I have no idea what to do here. It's just a bare shaft. There's nothing to thread, there's nothing, I don't know. I was trying to get this last one in here, but then there's no thread. And there's this little guy here that is for the cover, and that will dig into that, and that's not going to work. So, problem I have, sit like that, but there's nothing to clamp it with. So that's my next dilemma. Hang on, I think I just figured it out. Then this piece with Allen keys on it. So I just need another spacer. See if that'll work. Oh, pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. Oh, no, hang on. Now we're cooking with butter. No, still short. Okay, so I do need one more spacer right in there. Because I need room for this to clear on here. Yep, just a little bit of a spacer, so I'm going to probably have to cut one of these in half. Ooh, I wonder if that'll work. Oh yeah. Okay, I think that'll work. I'll have to put the cover on and figure out. But I think, yeah, that should work. I'm gonna go for it. I put the spacer there. Those guys are on there. This is awesome.
Later, in the void.
So we are now into December. I finally took this all apart, brought it to a machine shop, and they threaded the end for us, and also made a nice bolt with a flange on it. So that should tighten up that last wheel. I'm hoping this is going to work. Now I have to figure out how to put this all back together. Like I said, this is my first cabbing machine, so here goes nothing.
We hope you enjoyed this brief construction montage.
By the looks of things, these are pretty close together. I do have some space left, so I could probably space these out a little bit more. I have to get some more spacers or make some. Okay, I think I got this figured out. I finally got it in my rock room. Oh, let me show you. This is my new rock room that I'm working on. This used to be our workshop. This is all going to be in another video, but I don't know if this is going to be before the video or after the video. So here's a little quick look of what's going on. My rocks, my saw. This is all plexi, all up in here. So it's like an aquarium almost, except for the open face here. So I can cut my rocks in there, and then it drains through a pipe down there into a bucket. Those are all my drum hardware because I had to disassemble my drums in order to remove the workshop into my drum room to get my rock stuff into this room.
2 very boring minutes later.
So anyway, back to this thing. We had to figure out the spacer situation to get everything lined up properly, and I think we're okay now. We had to kind of make our own spacers, but everything worked out just fine. Everything just works perfect. And then the polisher goes on this part. So I have to tighten everything up still, and then put the caps on, and then we got to figure out. We have to figure out the water system.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
So the fun never stops with this thing. Holy cow! So now I run into a bit of a snag as I've been putting all the covers back on. Listen. It's hitting somewhere, and I don't know where. So I'm going to take this cover off, try it, see what happens, and then I'll take this one off and see if I can find it. Oh, man. Well, that was easy. It's this thing. Because now that I take it off, she spins. Alrighty, so now I got to see what's going to be hitting it. Could it be that little Allen key? Or could it be that Allen key? Or that Allen key? That's the only thing I can figure. But there should be a lot of clearance in there. I don't get it. Found a couple of washers. I'm hoping that will solve the problem. I'll use them as a spacer. One at the front, one at the back, and it'll raise that little cover up a little bit. And we'll tighten her down and see if it rubs again. Alright, it's all tightened down. Haven't tried this yet. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. I think we got her, folks. Yes. Awesome! Alright, so we'll put this cover on and see what happens.
One pair of pants later.
Be able to tap it down with a rubber mallet. But then I think the problem's going to be right there where the wall is going to hit the shaft. I might have to grind that out a bit. Don't want to, but if I have to, see, it's almost there. So if I force this cover down, which isn't a good idea to do with any of your projects, don't force it. The problem is going to be, that's going to hit, and on this side, that's already hitting back there. Can I get at it? Right there. So what I need to do is to draw a line, and I have to cut this a little bit bigger, just so nothing's gonna grind, and then that way this should fit a little bit better. And we'll be back to normal. I'm hoping this is almost done. And then we've got one more cover to see what's going to happen. So I'm going to take off that much right there. I'm thinking this is aluminum, so it should be easy to cut with the jigsaw. Let's give her a shot. All right, it fits. This still looks a little wonky, but I'll get a grinder and fix all that later. I just want to make sure everything's going to fit properly and work. Eventually, I want to paint this whole thing anyways, so I might just leave that for now and just worry about getting this thing running. It's been, I don't know, 5 years since I've had this thing, so I want to get it going. Yeah, so I just got to tighten these bolts up and then we'll figure out the next piece to go on. Yay! This is the last piece, well, second last piece that we have to put on. This is for the polishing pad. And that is going to sit like that. All right, that's connected. Now, this is the polishing pad that came with it. It's going to be replaced. It's just attached on there with a wire. Penny's going to put some new material on here. And but for now, just want to make sure it's all going to work. Just like that. But, oh, I see. I need a really long Allen key. Next problem. And a final spin. Make sure everything's not going to rub. That's turning. Yay. Finally. Finally. Well, not finally, because I still have to figure out a water system. Are we going to go through the hoses? Because if we do, I have to drill possibly 2 more holes, right? Or I've seen a few where they have this little water pump and it just sprouts water up here. I might try that. That might be a whole lot more feasible and easier. Oh, that's the next problem. This is the final piece to the puzzle. Please let it be the final piece to the puzzle. A smaller box. Cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Awesome. This is a submersible water pump that I will be using for my cabbing machine. Comes from Kingsley North. Ordered the pump and the geyser. This is called a geyser that I just found out recently. This is going to sit in the bottom of my tray underneath the wheels, and the pump will just pump out some water and keep the wheels wet. And like I said before, there is the ground wire right here that I have to hook back up to the motor, and then we can fire it up. And here are the specs. 8-foot pumping height, 660 gallons per hour. Wow. 15 watts, 8-foot power cord, and a 1/4 inch of outside diameter tubing. And the flow is also adjustable, so that's good. And at 660 gallons per hour, I think we need to turn it down a little bit.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Okay, here's the moment of truth. We're going to hit the power button and see what the heck happens. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm,
Are you ready?
Yep.
Contact. Yay! Okay, now we have the pump hooked up. Well, it's not running yet, but we got it in some water. Got the geyser happening. Okay, so we're going to plug the pump in.
Yep. Here's the moment of truth.
Okay, so I have to turn it up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have the pump on full. And, whoa!
What happened?
It's coming out the bottom.
Because your hose is back.
No, I'm coming out this side.
Oh, so that's the side you're supposed to use.
Is it?
You have it upside down. I'll turn the pump down.
Okay, let me turn this on now.
The water's coming out front.
Back more.
Yeah, I would say way back. Yeah, that's probably better, or even farther back.
Yeah, you want to keep this wet. So
Yeah.
it's coming down there really, really well.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So then you gotta turn it. Actually, yeah, turn it off. Better idea.
Draining out into there, to the dirty bucket. Awesome. You just have 3 clear hoses hooked up to the back. Man, I can't believe this is done. I am so excited. This is going to be a whole new adventure for me. And can't wait to make a lot of cool things. The first thing I have to do now is break in all these wheels, one by one. I'm going to use probably something like this, Montana agate, something that's really hard. And I have to go through each wheel and just take down the resin a little bit on the wheels. The first 2 wheels aren't like that. They're the hard surface. That one and this one. But the rest have all these little prickly things on there. So we have to wear them down a bit in order to get a beautiful polish. But that's going to be a different video. This one's probably really long because it's been a long project. Oh, and one thing I added too to rest my wrists on are these little pipe covers for pipe through your house. Instead of the pool noodles, these are a little bit smaller. So I figured it'd be a little bit easier to use. So thanks for coming along on this crazy journey. I'm glad it's done. Now we can have some fun. Make a whole lot of jewelry, a whole lot of fun things. I'm going to have to learn a lot. I got to watch a lot of videos again. I've done a lot of research before, but I have to do it all over again. I'm so excited. Oh, that's awesome.
It's my precious. I love my precious.
It's old, it's ancient, but it works. I like it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.